because I'm sitting in the warehouse. I'm learning about warehouse, I'm learning about procurement, I'm learning about customer relationship management, and I'm a junior staff member. I'm learning about technology and how it augments transport. I'm learning all of these facets. I moved to Neutrons, doing a similar thing, but that was with a Castrol contract. And whenever I see the Castrol people, I always say to them, "Hey, Tection Global," and I know all their stock, and it's great. Now it's a different mindset, different type of consignment. I'm delivering oil. Oil is looked for. It comes in drums. It comes on pallets. How this is different. Go through that. Eventually, in Unitrons, I go to the Dulux contract. I'm able then at Dulux to learn more. And I gradually move up the ranks, become contract manager for the Dulux contract nationally. And that means looking after the warehousing and the distribution of all Dulux stock in the country. So now I'm learning all of this. I was one of the youngest managers at Unitrons at the time. And it was so great. And then the opportunity came to join Takealot. At the moment, the Take 2 transition was happening. Joined Takealot, learned now about deeper supply chain management, smaller trucks, courier trucks. Now I went from oil trucks, and at value there was TVs, LG, Panasonic, Philips, all types of technology, all types of big stock. Now I'm with paint, and it's like, okay, it's still the principles are there, but I'm growing. Fast forward, I go to, after Takealot, go to Imperial. My father always wanted me to work at Imperial. He always admired Imperial for some reason. At that time, he'd already passed away. So I was like, I'm fulfilling something that he wanted. Now I'm doing line haul. These are 30-ton trucks with curtains, different. Small trucks, small buckies, now big trucks, delivering nationally. Different consignment, different stock. I have to source my loads, make sure my vehicle is more standing. And the title was Business Unit Manager because I owned that business. I owned that budget. I made sure that I was profitable in that cost center. If I send my truck to Port Elizabeth, he's coming back with a load. I'm also looking after him. He needs to stop at 10 o'clock. According to the Bargaining Council for Road Freight. He needs to deliver. He needs to stop. I was listening to the news this morning, and the minister was talking about possibility of trying to implement something where we're forcing truck drivers to have 2 truck drivers in the vehicle and all of these things. If people adhered to the regulations that are really there, we would not have driver fatigue and accidents. We wouldn't have it because we're taking care of the human being. If you're going to say to the driver, deliver I'm in Joburg, you're loading Joburg afternoon, 6 o'clock, and I want you to deliver tomorrow morning by 4 o'clock. Okay, 2,200 hours according to the Bargaining Council, he needs to stop. And he can only commence at 4 a.m. the next morning. Why are you pushing the guy to drive through the night? You did not have customer relationship. You did not have relationship with your end user customer. And now this poor man who's in the middle, he is now suffering the consequences of your neglect of planning. And now he has to be pushed. It means you don't care about the road. It means you don't care about other people who are now going on holiday. Because if he has fatigue and he has an accident, the driver is always guilty. But there's other factors that are contributing. So it made me learn that, I went to Easy Access, I won 2 Logistics Achiever Award, and a company that is not a logistics company.
What was it for?
So it was for, and that's a very interesting project. So with Easy Access, they will do material handling work at height solutions. That's very nice, sophisticated English. But basically, we did machinery that help you work at height safe. So instead of, you think about, building scaffolding, you have a machine that's articulated, that means it goes up to a certain meter and it can turn in the sky. So you can wash your windows, you can do different things, and it applies in different companies. You get a type of machinery that works in mining, in light industry, in heavy industry, in the film industry. So these and then they have the forklift division with Lindy. So you have this whole bouquet of these machinery that have very specific statutory requirements. If you're 60 meters in the sky and the machine doesn't work, this is a problem. So Yeah, that's a pretty small problem. You might die, the wind might blow. So it's not very conducive. So it's a very heavy statutory regulatory environment, safety environment, which it has to be that way so that people are safe. So the commodity is important. What your delivery is important. So think about the easy access business model. So let's say I want, we call it, 450 AJ. So it goes a certain meter, and the AJ just means it's articulated. And because I'm going to be working at a certain height, I order that from Easy Access, and they have to deliver to me, and I'm renting it out for 7 days. I'm doing construction, whatever it is I'm doing. I came in the organization with a couple of other new members in the organization, and we said, let's look at end-to-end the supply chain. We have these type of vehicles, it's specialized vehicles. My commodity is these machinery. Now, I'm not delivering paint. I'm not delivering oil. I'm not delivering small parcels, like Take a Lot. I'm delivering a machine that I still own, that is rented out, and that's my inventory. So I said, okay, let's look at the whole supply chain. What is my delivery? What is my inventory? It's the machinery. I need to make sure it's compliant, and I need to deliver it. While I'm delivering, there's other machinery that's been off-rented, meaning the customer has finished the usage in that area. That speaks to how is my vehicles configured in terms of size and dimension and capacity to load, so that when I deliver and keep to the promise, I can collect all my other machines and bring them back and make sure that they are now tested for compliance. We would call it red, green, and orange status. And you would have a black status where the machine is really in bad shape. But the thing is, you need to get it back into green status again. So there's checks and balances to make sure people are safe, our customers are safe. I need to collect. So I said, okay, let's configure the fleet based on our need, based on empirical data. If I deliver in Pretoria, I need a 14-ton vehicle. I have 14-ton machinery to be collected. Let's look at the whole supply chain. Let's look at empirical data. Let's look at everything end to end. Let's look at orchestration. So what we then did is we redesigned the vehicles. We redesigned the whole fleet nationally. We actually reduced our fleet. So that speaks now to ESG, carbon emissions, reduction of kilometers. And then we did what's called in supply chain management, optimized routing and scheduling, is where you use software to say, I've got 100 deliveries. What is the best route to get from A to B to C to D? This is the best route. Based on past traffic, based on everything. So I put my plan. It's based on data. I'm going to need truck A to be allocated to these stops or points of interest deliveries. This weight, this size, this area, this delivery point. What happens with all of that data? I've got now powerful data. I can tell Rosie I'm going to be there at 12 o'clock. And I'm so fortunate that my career has all intersynced into the same thing. What was Take a Lot's defining unique selling point? Take a Lot came in the market and said, I will deliver on time. Take a Lot, remember, used to call and say, Mr. Lozi, your parcel is at Mr. Delivery so-and-so. I will deliver between 12 and 3. I ran that call center. And because of data, I was able to say, we need to call the customer. Now we do it through the app. There's, SMSs have fallen away. There's all types of greater, interaction with the customer. But data is so important, and that's what it did. So now at Easy Access, we applied a logistics supply chain methodology into machinery rental. And we said, customers, I will send you quality. If you are waiting to build something and you have 20 guys waiting to help you, if Jonathan says your truck will be there at 12 and your truck is at 12, you are now happy. If now you've built your stuff and you're going to leave that site, you need Jonathan to collect that machinery and get rid of it. The safety aspect is Jonathan doesn't have the machine standing alone. It can be broken down. I've collected it, brought it back. Statutory requirement is now green again and ready to produce rental, ready to certify another customer's experience. So We put that in place using technology, using people, using change management, using policies, and a holistic structural approach to say, sometimes people freaked out. You are reducing the vehicles? Yes. Because here's why I'm reducing the vehicles. This vehicle is old, it's ancient. I have many more of them because of their breaking down. No, I will now reduce these vehicles. I will get a third-party logistics partner to come in and give me brand new trucks based on the need, based on the specs, based on data. They come in with the right configured trucks. I'm able to optimize with less. So I'm able to do 15 stops instead of 7 with 3 trucks. Well, doesn't that challenge your stuff? No, it doesn't. Because now then I move it a step forward. I'm able to deliver longer. I can interchange my stuff and cut the hours and make sure their wellness is taken care of. You start from point A to B, the second driver starts from point B to C. Now I've got a bigger delivery window for my customers to choose from with the same resources. How do I impact the roads? How do I impact carbon emission? How do I impact everything? A newer vehicle with a better Euro spec, that's what it's called, in terms of the engine capacity being conducive to not emitting as much CO2 emissions, is better than an old engine truck, which emits a lot. The basics and the fundamentals are there. We cut the number of fleet, we optimize and kept the customer. We increase our on-time delivered in full, which I mentioned, to a higher percentage. The customers now can rely on us. We're a business partner that's reliable. Therefore, they can do and trust us. We might not be big as the competitor, but now we are trustworthy. So it all comes into play, and that's why we won the award. We won the award because we slashed a lot of our kilometers. We contributed to less carbon emission. So we got an environmentally friendly Enviro award. And secondly, we won because we now transposed this FMCG logistics methodology into machine rental, which is fantastic. And that's really what I believe in. I believe in empirical data because everything is connected. That is the analysis of it.
Tell me something. What did I get the sense your first job at Value? Most of the principles that you got there, you literally applied them along the way.
I did because, we joke around as Value being a great university for transport. It's a great university. Stephen would be very happy if I say that, but it's a great university. Not that the other universities, the Imperial, are put with for most of them. But and that's what separates the proper, or should I say, the companies like the Unitrons, the companies like Imperial is now DP World, the TSVs, all the companies that adhere to proper protocols. In one of your interviews, you interviewed Oliver Knight. Oliver's JC Auditors, and with Nikki Scott, they're the 2 companies that certify people for RTMS. And that RTMS methodology, because RTMS is a SANS standard, it's basically a government and an industry standard saying, what is the gold standard for fleet management? If you're going to run a fleet, what is the fundamental, irrefutable standards you need to have? I always joke with the guys at my, at another company I'm working with to say, that is ISO for fleet management. It's applied like ISO. It's dealt like ISO. You have to take it seriously. Because if you take it seriously in terms of fleet management, it saves people's lives. And you're 100% right. The tapestry has been there where you take certain things and you make sure that you are not stagnant and complacent where you'll be left behind by change, but also do the basics well. I think so many times people want the new flashy unicorn that will win them the race, but not seeing that there's also fundamental, irrefutable fundamentals, for lack of a better word. There's building blocks, there's foundations. You look at the RTMS pillars, driver wellness, driver training. How do you do your maintenance? How do you look at, your policies and procedures? Are those policies and procedures understood? And then thus you coalesced it into something that's a great vision.
And then the type of skills that you would say are necessary, I'm sure the time you started to the skills that we see today, data analytics, you've just explained it to me in such a way that now I'm able to apply it even to what I do. How would you explain data analytics in terms of young people today? We think the buzzwords, data analytics is one of the subjects that you'll find in digital. But I don't think we actually understand it in terms of now applied when you get into the workplace and you have to apply that. And I think the way you've explained over the years what you were doing and how it developed, it has a lot to do with data analytics. And how would you explain data analytics and why is it important in aiding the type of work that you do?
Favorite question. Love this. Absolutely love it. The people I work with are like, oh, you love data. One of the IT company, IT department's friend of mine says, yeah, you have no idea. We call you data. No, I'm because you've been terrorizing us since you got here to make sure the data is right. I'm like, okay, I'm going to terrorize you further. Yes, that's important. Thank you for that. You've just motivated. But basically, in fleet management and supply chain management is transport and everything. And one of the things that another sort of that's sort of similar to a dissertation we did about 4IR, and we did that with a group friends of mine. We did a course at Gibbs together, was looking at 4IR as it relates to human beings. And all these buzzwords are great. I remember when we won the award at Easy Access, Capital News asked me a question about data, and I gave this long answer. And because here's the fundamentals. The first thing about data management is that garbage in, garbage out. You need your sources of data to be correct, vetted, and be proper. Why is that important? Because once it goes in, a lot of people, transport sector, financial sector, different sectors, we are now obsessed with this mindset of seeing pretty graphs and visualization. You hear data analytics people talk about visualization, but the foundation of it is that data sources, so the data inputs need to be correct. The architecture to that needs to be correct. Once you have that input correct, now it can go into, being analyzed and visualized. Once it's visualized, you need to glean insights at the correct time to pivot and make the right decisions. Okay. So in fleet management, the plethora of data that's available is humongous. What are the concepts of fleet management? You have fuel. Fuel is one of your biggest cost drivers, but with that is huge amounts of data, fuel transactions, all types of things. And in fleet management, you hear people talk about FMS, fleet management systems. Some will call it fleet management information systems. All these systems. There is a big elephant, telematics, the tracking data. The tracking data will give you the driver's location. Great. But there's other data that it gives you. It gives you speeding, braking, cornering, idling, all types of things. Now, fleet companies across the world have dash cameras inside and outside, and I think we'll touch base a little bit more on that. The AI around it, looking at fatigue, looking at, alerting the driver you're falling asleep, your seatbelt is not on and on. So we can see that the landscape is big. Now, the accidents, traffic fines, with Auto Act coming next year, you need to be having the data sources correct, coalescing, coming into a central repository where you can visualize. But the key factor of it is, and this applies with, like you said, in every industry, then when you have the big data and it's there and it's visualized, what are you going to do? Are you going to make the empirical right decisions at the right time to stop problems? I'll give you a fleet management and a transport one. So let's say we're doing a company and our delivery, on-time delivery in full, I mentioned, is at 92%. So how you make a percentage, you just say, I had X amount of deliveries. I delivered these ones on time. These ones were not on time. Split, make it a percentage. I know where my failure rate is. So how do I improve my failure? Why did I fail? Even if you apply the 80-20 principle, why did I fail? How do I analyze it? What was the cause? Did we route it correctly? Did we deliver it correctly? Did we deliver it in the right window? Were we late? Were we delayed at another particular, at stop number 5 when we had to go to stop number 10? Are we always delayed there? What is the history on that? So you see now you can go in deeper and glean the actual problem. I'll give you a typical example. When I was in the paint industry with Unitrans, there was a customer that we knew was very important for our customer, Dulux. And, you know, people were like, oh, he's important, he's complaining, he's the man, he orders, he's a very big customer. And I went to him and I said, look, something's not gelling here. You know, I have the data, I deliver this on time. Sometimes you reject it, sometimes you say it's late. What is really happening here? Here's the data. And it informed me to have a more productive conversation with him. He said, key accounts. And I said to him, listen, this is what I see on the data. If I deliver in this window, you're always accepting it. If I deliver in this window, you're not accepting it. If I do this, you're not accepting it. If I do this, you're not accepting it. The issue is your ordering pattern is sporadic and it's not consistent. And there's certain things I'm seeing here, but there are patterns that are emerging. Obviously we did this with facilitation with our customer. I want us to do a different plan. Can we make your orders on Monday, Wednesday, Friday? I will start with you. I will load the truck. I will do X, Y, Z. Can we do that? I said, do it. Let's do it. Ever since that day, to date, I still have friends who are still in the contract. No issues. This guy was a nightmare for years for all the transport. Why? Because they never engaged him. They never did. All the fear was that guy's complaining, oh my goodness, all hell is breaking loose. Let's go get a small little bakkie and go deliver the 1.5 liter that he's complaining about. His problem was, he said to me, listen, I work with designers, architects, all of these people. They need this type of paint at this time. I said, that's simple. That's called resource allocation and inventory management. Your store can only take X, Y. You're correct. You have a throughput and you already have data on your side to know what orders are coming. Yeah. Let's pre-order the stock. Let's get the stock you need so that when we look at the whole supply chain, the time you need the stock and when you have space in your shop, I'm there to deliver the bulk of the stock. Then I don't come every single day to you. I come on specific days. Now you can prepare your offloading and your store management and your warehousing properly. He's like, you are even solving my problem. So he has the trick about data. And this is where you see the Amazons and everywhere. When you understand your customer better, you can, and through data, you can have more impactful, more better conversations with your customer because you're solving his problem. And this is a principle that applies not just in supply chain, in everything. I have now insights in this data to be able to come to you and say, Menio, sister, there's a problem here. If I deliver at 2 o'clock, you are okay. Can I schedule all your deliveries at 2 o'clock? Yes. I build it into my planning and routing software. In the algorithm, when the orders come in, it flags it. This stop number 1 needs to be stop number 6 because you're going to be there at 6 o'clock, at 2 o'clock. Great, tremendous. He gets what he wants. I get what I want. There's throughput, there's synergy in the supply chain and delivery part. And that's what you need. You need to glean. So to answer the long division of answering your question, data is important. Data is the future. Analyzing the data, understanding the data, and then making the decision is what makes it right. A lot of people are just obsessed with the visualization, reading graphs. It looks cute and fluffy. Yeah, so what? Are you going to make actions? Do you see the pattern? Are you going to make the action? So the human being who analyzes it will still be important. Yeah, 4IR will come, automation, digitization, real-time information will come, but I need to make the informed decision. You know, I need to do that. You know, if I have take-a-lot parcels and I look, okay, Loazi, I failed 7 deliveries over the past 6 months when I scheduled his delivery at 1 o'clock. No. He is now more available at 11. Let's schedule his deliveries at 11. Let's talk to him. Are you happy with this? Yeah, I'm happy. Great.